welcome you to this custom deep dive. Practicing a new language in a classroom is, well, it's a lot like practicing a golf swing in your living room. The mechanics feel perfect, but there are absolutely no surprises.
Right, the environment is totally controlled.
Exactly. But stepping out into the real world to actually speak, that is, like playing on a live course with winds and water hazards and an audience. Today's source material comes from Her Vox Studio, and it's all about navigating everyday English conversations.
Yeah, and our mission today is to uncover why mastering real-world English actually relies entirely on simple, natural reactions rather than, complex vocabulary.
Okay, let's unpack this. We move from the abstract concept of real-life English into like the most immediate real-world test.
Which is talking to a stranger in a store. The source highlights starting with polite simplicity, like saying, "Excuse me, can you help me?" Or just asking for specific sizes or colors.
Right, and then closing with, "Thank you, that's helpful."
Exactly.
It sounds almost too basic. But if you look at it, these phrases act as conversational cheat codes. So that you bypass all that grammatical anxiety so you can just get things done.
What's fascinating here is the psychological shift. Because in a classroom, you just answer questions, right? You're completely passive.
Yeah, you just wait for the teacher's prompt.
Exactly. But in a store, you have to initiate and react. And doing that with prepackaged phrases drastically reduces your cognitive load.
Oh, so you don't have to burn mental energy calculating verb tenses.
Right, which frees up your brain to actually listen to the clerk and read their social cues. It builds true confidence. But that predictability can also create a false sense of security.
Oh, for sure. Because we're transitioning now from those transactional exchanges to the routine social check-ins we have every day.
Yeah.
Like the second you get to work, a coworker hits you with, "How was your day?"
Yeah. The script is gone. You have to adapt. And the source advises against the default one-word answer. Just saying, "Fine."
Right, that's the ultimate conversation killer.
Exactly. Instead, use something like, "My day was good. I was busy with work," or "tiring but productive." And then immediately ask the other person about their day.
Wait, I have to push back on this a little bit. If you're nervous about speaking, isn't it safer and easier to just say fine to avoid making mistakes?
Well, it definitely feels like the safest route in the moment. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, think about how human interaction actually works.
Okay, how so?
When you just say fine, the conversation stalls out entirely. So all of that awkward silence and the pressure to figure out what happens next stays resting squarely on your shoulders.
Oh, wow. So by slightly expanding your answer and asking a question back, you aren't doing more work, you're actually relieving the pressure.
Exactly. You toss the conversational ball back to the other person, you escape the spotlight, and that pressure management is even more critical when scaling up to the most relaxed, unscripted scenario.
Which is catching up with a friend.
Right. The focus is on casual phrases like, "Hey, it's been a while," or, "What have you been up to?"
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because these relaxed openers prevent the speaker from overthinking their grammar.
Yeah, you aren't trying to construct a flawless, tense-accurate paragraph about your week.
Right, ritualistic phrases like, "Hey, it's been a while," are stored in our memory as single chunks. They aren't individual words you have to assemble on the fly.
That is the key. You're just acknowledging the other person. The connection takes precedence over the perfection.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway for you, the listener. Language mastery isn't about difficult words.
No, it's about simple communication and consistent practice.
Right, letting go of that perfect living room golf swing and just playing the course.
Connection over performance.
Exactly. And that leaves you with a final thought to mull over. If successfully speaking a language relies on simple, authentic responses rather than complex vocabulary, what other areas of your life are you overcomplicating?
That's a really good question.
Are you doing it just to seem smart instead of genuinely connecting with the people around you?